What's going on, government contracting people, gov guys and gov girls, gov people? We are here for another video about government contracting with Gov Guy Nick to help lift the veil on government contracting and show you it's not that big of a deal and it's not as scary as you might think. Now, if you've watched our other videos, you know that we've showed you how to look up NAICS codes, which are the codes that the US government uses to classify all different industries. And this is one of the easiest ways to find different contracts in your given product or service. Now, one of the hardest things is actually deciphering contracts and looking at exactly what we're supposed to be filling out. What are we supposed to read to figure out exactly what they're asking for in the contract? So that's what this video is about here. So I appreciate you guys being here. Let's just get started. So once again, the website that we're using most of the time, even though there's tons of state websites and county websites and all different websites, the one website, if you've watched any of my stuff before, is sam.gov. Now, please make sure that you're actually on sam.gov. Any website that ends with .gov is a legitimate website, and that is a real government website. If it says .com or something else, it is not a real website. So that's the first thing, to make sure that you're there. Now, these companies, you can go pay them to help you do the registration. I'm not saying that they're gonna steal your money. Some of them might, but you could go do the registration completely for free and find videos. $600 is a lot of money to get registered for something that you can do for free. If you really just don't want to do anything and you want somebody else to do it for you, then maybe that is a good option. But don't be fooled. A lot of people get fooled and scared and think that they cannot go do that because it costs so much money and they're on a tight budget. So just remember that, sam.gov, the place where we're going to go look today and go look at contracts and show you how to decipher them and the different things that I look for when I'm bidding on a contract. And as you can see, we are on sam.gov. I just happened to put in, a friend of mine was here for a meeting and he has a truck transport company. So I put in the NAICS code 484, which covers all truck transport. So once again, like a past video for NAICS codes, which stands for North American Industry Classification System, you can go look these up on a search on census.gov, and you can put in keywords like transport or trucking, and it'll come up with different codes. Now, this is the easiest way to search sam.gov. You can go and put in keywords here, but unfortunately, this website is, I don't know how to say it nicely. It's not the best website in the world, so it's hard to search things by keyword, and even NAICS codes can be hard to search, but at least it will hone in a little bit better exactly what you're looking for. So the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna look for something that is relevant to what I wanna do. Temperature controlled truck service. This is gonna be like refrigerated trailers. My friend that was here does not have refrigerated trailers, so we're just gonna go past that one. Line haul services. This could be interesting. I think it's just probably a contract of wanting things hauled between two different points, which would be line hauling. So the first thing we're going to look at here is that it is for the Department of Defense, and it is a sub-tier. It is for the Army. And the next things I'm going to come down, and the things I want to make sure when I see a contract title. So one of the first things that we want to look at, other than who it's for, is we want to go down and see when dates are due. It is due on the 30th of April of 2024. At the time of making this video, it is the 26th of April. So now I need to decide quickly in my head, can I set up a freight quote, and maybe I'm just a broker, or maybe I actually have the truck to do this. Can I set up a bid or a quote and bid on this in 4 days? Depending on how much information they give to us, that's probably doable. So that means I'm going to move on further looking at this. If it was due tomorrow, I'm gonna know already there's no way I'm gonna put this together in 1 day. So let's just move on from that. We have enough time, so we're gonna continue to look down further. So now as we go into classification, I'm gonna look at the set aside. This is a small business set aside, which myself and most people watching this probably fall into that category. Now, sometimes it could be a woman-owned set aside, it could be a minority, it could be a HUD zone, it could be a Native American set aside, it could be a disabled veteran set aside. If any of those is the case in the set aside and you don't qualify for that, you might as well move on. But since we do qualify as a small business, we're going to continue on. So once again, these are all things, these first things, the dates offers are due and the set aside are two things that you want to pay attention to. I've gone through bids before when I was first starting to do this, and it saved me a lot of time looking at those two things, because I've had contracts where I went through the process of getting all my numbers together and calling subcontractors and writing paperwork and doing all this stuff, and the contract had already closed, or it was so close to closing I didn't have time. So those are the first things. That's the first tip that I have learned over the years that I want to pass on to you. So make sure those are the things that you check out. Now, as we come down, it's going to give a sometimes quick description, sometimes a long description. But as we get down to the attachments and links, there's going to be sometimes one, and sometimes there's going to be different attachments, all the way up to 20 attachments I've seen on contracts, just depending on the size and scope. Now, when we get into this, there's going to be a couple things. One of the first things that they usually call a document is a SOW or a PWS. That stands for Statement of Work or Performance Work Statement. That document, if it's contained in this contract, is going to be the quickest way that we can get an overview of what they're asking for in this contract. So once again, by not muddying the waters too much, and we want to come look at a contract to see if it's feasible for us, we want to look for the PWS or the SOW. Here they happen to call it an SOW or just a statement of work. So we're going to open that document up, and it's a PDF, and this is going to just give us the quickest, briefest overview. This document is 10 pages long, 9 pages long, and it's just going to give us a quick overview of the job so that we can decide if it's something that's within our scope. So the Army National Guard, the Air National Guard needs 47 pieces of equipment brought from one air station to a National Guard armory. Both of these places are in New Hampshire. One is in Portsmouth and one is in Littleton. It gives a quick breakdown that there's 3 20-foot containers, 3 quad-con containers, 21 vehicles, 6 trailers, 11 generators, and 3 power plants. And they need it shipped between these 2 locations, and it needs to be done between the 7th of May and the 17th of May. So with this closing on the 30th of this month, and it needing to be done on the 7th, you've got 10 days to move all their equipment. If you've got a flatbed semi-trailer, that's probably easy to do. We can look here and see, do we need to load it? We can see quickly in this overview that the U.S. government will provide equipment assistance to load and unload the equipment. So once again, the performance work statement is, or SOW, or statement of work, is a great way to just get an overview of the contract and exactly what they're looking for and get a brief overview. Now, once again, if this is something that interests us and we go, okay, we can do that because we've got a flatbed trailer or we've got people that we can subcontract this out to, then we're going to start getting into the other documents. Now, in this particular contract, they give us the list of equipment. Now, this list of equipment shows exactly the weight, the height, the length, and the width of every piece of equipment so that you can plan your loads accordingly. Now, what's nice about this also is they give the model numbers of these pieces of equipment, so we can do a quick just copy and paste of these different unit numbers or models, and even do a quick, it's an M1095, so now we can see that this is one of those 2-axle military trailers that they haul behind the deuce and a halves or whatever they're using nowadays. So there's what our trailers are looking like. So as we go down this list of equipment, we can keep doing this, the M111 65 A1s. I can tell you that that is a Humvee, but we'll just go on here and make sure that's a Humvee. So those are the vehicles, the 21 vehicles that they want moved. And you can go down that list and just keep looking at the different pieces of equipment, figure out your weights, and especially if you're subcontracting this out, this is great information to have to supply to your subcontractor. That's how I would look at a contract. No matter what, if it was a product or a service, that's how I'm gonna go through the contracts. With those different things first, I'm going to look at those different things that could exclude me, like the date that it's due and the set aside. Those are the first two things I'm going to look at as I look through contracts. So make sure to come follow along, watch another video. I'll show you some of the different forms that come along with contracts and how they need to be filled out, and also how to do your pricing in different contracts. All contracts are different, but I'm going to give you a basic overview of these kinds of things in more videos to come. Make sure to leave comments of different videos that you'd like to see from us. One of the biggest things that you can do to help support is to make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notification. That just helps support us so that we can keep doing videos for you. Make sure to go to our TikTok, our Facebook, our Instagram, and also follow there. So I'm going to close with this. I want you guys to know that I 100% believe in you, and that you should believe in yourself. You should get out of your comfort zone and go do something that makes you feel uncomfortable. I promise you, you will never ever regret doing something that makes you uncomfortable and makes you feel out of your element, because at those times you are growing. I 100% believe in you. I know you can do this, because if I can do this, you can do this. I appreciate your support. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.